3 occasions. The standout match, I would say, of the round, and it's Ding to get us underway.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. The first frame, Ding Junhui to break.
Ding's had 2 close matches. He beat Zhao 6-4, Scott Donaldson 6-5, but he's played superbly. He's had 4 centuries. He finished off with 1 in that decider against Donaldson. And Judd Trump, he saw off Stephen Maguire, of course, on the opening afternoon, 6-4, Zhao 6-3. The head-to-head favours Trump 10-7. But Dominic, with great players like this, it really is all on the day, isn't it?
It really is, yes. I can hardly pick a winner between these two, because their current form seems to be really good. I'm so impressed, though, with Ding wrapping up victory yesterday. He'd hardly seen a ball for a couple of frames, plotted that fabulous red into the left-hand corner and cleared up to win 6-5. So he must be confident. Judd Trump always is. (10-7) in favour of Judd Trump in the head-to-heads. But Judd has won their last 3 meetings. But that really doesn't mean anything. You derive your confidence from current form, and both of these players have good reason to be very confident.
Yeah, Alan was talking in the studio about that meeting 20 years ago in qualifying. Ding won 9-2. It was only Judd Trump's second ever match as a professional. His first was against Fergal O'Brien. Another very stern test. And of course there weren't many tournaments then either. He was hard going early on, but it was an apprenticeship that he served, of course, and now, well, look at him, world number 1 by some distance. Of course, trying to win his last event of 2025 for his only trophy of the year.
Definite chance here for Ding. Straightish red to the left corner. He can hold for the black or go up for the blue or the bulk colours. Just depends how he sees it. Well, that was certainly confidently played. As you can see, there wasn't a lot of danger. Holding for the black, the only red he could have left was the one he took on. Now can he cannon the red? The right-hand red probably of the 2 just above the black.
Eight. 9.
His 9th appearance in the UK Championship quarter-finals, looking for a 6th semi-final. Just seems if he's going to play well anywhere during the season, it'd be York. He seems to love it here. And indeed, they love him. There's a chap in the
60.
second row with a Ding T-shirt on, nailing his colours to the mast.
70.
Cleverly played again from Ding, using the pack of reds to play for the black, and he's brought a couple more into play. That nearly went wrong, but he does have a red to the right centre. It's not as easy as it may appear. He may not have an ideal angle on it. He must be fairly straight on the red to the right centre. Well, we can see that he is fairly straight on it, but I think he's considering holding for the pink to the opposite centre. It looks as though there is room, though, for the pink to be respotted, so it would be tied up unless he can develop the reds next to it.
25.
Well, that hasn't worked out quite as well for Ding. He has too much angle on the red to the left corner. If he pots it, he'll have to play a control cannon off the two reds there, just to the right of the pink as we look. And that would deflect the cue ball towards the centre pocket and the blue. So if he plays it well, he should be able to continue the break.
Thank you. 31. $32.
Well, Ding has played a great shot there. He obviously knew he'd be canning in the underside of that red by playing it with topspin, which in turn has deflected the cue ball down for the black. Beautifully judged. And now look at the position of the reds. Immediate chance to put Judd under pressure.
$39.
Well, it's a great record he's had in this event. Of course, won it for the first time 20 years ago. He's been in 5 finals, 3 titles. Made a maximum back in 2008.
40.
Sort of match. I mean, you expect this in a quarterfinal anyway, but certainly because of who's playing who here, you just know you've got to play well. Simple as that. And Ding is starting well here, looking to kill this off, lay down an early marker.
47.
I think with some players, and Judd would most certainly be one of them, you can't help but play
50.
well against them because, one, you know you have to, but two, it's, you know, it just makes for such a great occasion. It's very uplifting. And this is exactly as a snooker player or any sports person, to play one of the game's greats. They're both 2 of the game's greats, let's be honest, but, you know, these are the sort of matches that both of these players will enjoy.
$60. $61.
Well, that was the initial red. And now he's going to need one more after the black.
And it's a little awkward, this black, because he will be hampered a little by the 2 reds behind the cue ball on the cushion. Having to play with a very long bridge. And that will do very nicely.
68.
Well, he's scored so well in this tournament. 4 centuries already. Potential for another one here, but the main thing is he should have secured the frame. He's looking to move up to that next tier in terms of UK Championship. Already won 3, along with John Higgins and Neil Robertson.
74.
He wants to be on 4 on his own. That'd be 1 behind Hendry, 2 behind Davis. Of course, O'Sullivan out on 8. Oh, it's dropped.
75.
He thought twice. But that's important because Trump, I'm sure, would have come back there had that stayed out, which it did its best to.
$81. $82.
failed to make the cannon.
89.
Disappointment. You can see how highly the players price centuries. Some sort of back double. Not quite, but a great start for Ding. Very swiftly and efficiently accounts for the opening frame with a break of 89. Underway then on this great day. Quarterfinals Friday at the UK Championship. The side between Neil Robertson and Pang Jingzhou, they're still in the first frame.
Second, second frame. Judd Trump to break.
Yeah, we've got 5 former winners in the field. Of course, Trump and Ding, Robertson, Mark Selby and Sean Murphy. Barry Hawkins was runner-up last year. Zhang Anda appearing in a third straight quarter-final. And Pang Jingzhou in his first. His mother was very excited, wasn't she, when he walked out? It was brilliant to see that. He's had a couple of great wins already, but Neil Robertson, that would be something.
Ding playing with a cue that he hasn't had for all that long. His other cue was over 20-odd years old. Maybe the same company that made Mark Selby's cue, actually. But the way he won that match yesterday against Scott Donaldson, my goodness me. He must be absolutely brimful of confidence with his game at the moment, and that performance in frame one suggests that's the case. Oh, Judd's first pot of the match, and that was another great shot. Nice on the green, needs a good positional shot here. May well play for the red just to the right of the pink. There's one at the back of the pack that goes. He's chosen to play for that.
4. 5.
See a very wide stance there from Judd. Compare that with Zhang Anda, for instance. Massive contrast.
12.
Just about on a red to the centre pocket, but it's not easy. Pot's missable. Positionally, it's not easy either. Well, what's he got in store for us here? He looked at the blue, but I think he's decided that he couldn't play it with enough pace to get position on his next red. So will he play the green as a power shot in and out of bulk? Just watch this if he takes it on. Just running up to it, I think.
Judd Trump 13.
This red is very potable for Judd. It's tight against the cushion. He'll have to play with a little bit of pace to get nicely on the black.
1. Judd ramp 1.
Well, it's like a stuck record, isn't it? But on these tables, you've got to be precise. Just sent that to the far jaw and it didn't drop. It's a little annoying. It could have been the start of something after the nice red along the cushion.
Well, a lot of players would play this black at pace and take the cue ball into the reds here. And I think Ding will play that shot. That's worked out okay. The straighter that red is to the right centre, the better. Ding in sparkling form. Maybe that's why Judd missed that black. Ding already has Judd under a little bit of pressure. And that will only increase if Ding scores heavily here.
Yeah, and I think Ding puts you under pressure in maybe a more subtle way than some players. He doesn't stomp round the table, does he? There's no swagger. He's just really good. His cue ball's excellent, and he scores heavy.
16.
I remember when I first played Ding, he's very new to the tournament circuit there. I had never seen a technique like it. It was just robotic. It was almost like a computer game. It was the epitome of textbook. There have been a few changes to his cue action since then, but everything else has pretty much remained the same.
$23. 24. $31.
Well, if he can't play for the black, he'd like to possibly play for the pink, but I'm not sure he's ideally positioned for that either. It looks to be very straight on this red. He may be able to screw back off the side cushion for the black. No, he's happy enough with
32.
the pink, so he'll be bringing further reds into play here. But there's no guarantee that this will land well because he'll need a little bit of good fortune.
$38.
This is what I'm saying. It's the efficiency of how he break builds. You know, the cue ball isn't flying around the table. He's not having to play dramatic recovery shots, is he? It's just all very compact and just well controlled. This is why snooker players love watching him, unless maybe he's sat where Judd Trump is right now.
45. 46. 52.
This was the black he missed. He potted the good red along the cushion.
53.
But it's starting to look very costly. One more red after this black for a 2-0 lead for Ding. He looks bang on it, doesn't he? He looked relaxed in the interview with Rachel. Had a good night's sleep. He knows what to expect
60.
from Judd Trump. But also he knows what he can expect from himself. Snooker like this.
61.
Great start from Ding.
67. 68.
Well, yet to miss a pot, Ding's way. Judd's seen all this before, of course, but you still need a response as quickly as possible. And you can never guarantee that. Not even Judd Trump can guarantee that.
Yeah, I mean, he's not done much wrong, has he? You know, he left a long red in the first frame, 89 from Ding, then he missed that black. And this is another
76.
frame-winning break. But, of course, at this level, at this stage of a big tournament, you don't have to do much wrong.
$83. 83.
Well, the yellow stays out, so again, it's not a century, but he's made breaks at 89 and 83. A golden start for China's Ding Junhui. He leads Judd Trump 2-0. It's nothing in live play. The only balls he missed were at the end of the two breaks, where he'd already won the frame. So far, a perfect start for him.
There are two reds at the back of the pack there that look dangerously close to being a plant for this left corner. If they are, I wonder if Judd will try to contrive a way to knock them in. If you can see the red that's just above those two reds, full ball, then he could, in theory, make that plant. They're just set for the top jaw, but if you were to cannon the right-hand red of the two slightly on the thick side, it would push the other one in towards the pocket, I'm certain of it, but, you know, you wouldn't really play that unless it was a last resort, and I don't think it is. probably spotted those two reds at the back of the pack there as we look at one of Ding's big fans. He has many, of course, Dave.
Yeah, I was just trying to work out who that chap was supporting, but I reckon it's probably Ding.
Well, that was a great cutback from Ding. It was on, but I wondered whether he'd risk it because Judd has been kept so cold these first two frames. It wasn't a ball that you'd want to miss, knowing that you're going into the pack of reds. But I'll tell you something, he's finished beautifully on the blue. Ding would be disappointed to miss this.
Well, if you're Judd Trump, you're already concerned, aren't you, looking at the fact the Reds have
6.
opened up, and from what we've seen already this afternoon, as I say, that pot success is actually 100% in live play. So when the frame is still winnable,
7.
he hasn't missed.
Well, this start is similar to that of Barry Hawkins last night in his match with Elliot Slessor. He had 100% pot success after a couple of frames before he did finally start to miss the odd one, but that's all he ever did miss in the match. He won it 6-0. Be a dream for Ding if he could do something similar here. But it's in his hands to take a 3-0 lead.
15.
Well, Trump just focusing because he knows at any point he could be back at the table. You've got to be ready. But we go back to last year's UK Championship. Trump played Zhang Anda
20.
in this very round, the quarterfinals, and he went 5-0 up, making over 500 points without reply. So he knows firsthand it can happen. If you just hit a nice groove, you feel like you can't miss. He made 4 centuries in that match, Trump.
$23.
The other thing as well, when you play these big matches in front of the TV cameras, the big audiences, you don't quite know sometimes how the table's going to play, and it might just be exactly to your liking. The speed of the bed of the table could be almost identical to that of your practice table. The pockets, the way the ball reacts on the cloth, all of these things can contribute to a perfect performance.
$25. $26.
The reds are spread beautifully, but they're a little awkward to get onto. He's going to have to be very precise here as Judd Trump looks on, hoping for an opportunity. He'll certainly need to come quickly here. Been playing less than half an hour, and
31.
Judd has hardly had a look in. But Ding couldn't really do a lot about leaving an awkward angle on this next red. He'll have to play a cannon, possibly to hold for the pink to the centre pocket. Seems to have extensions for every occasion.
Well, he was still stretching, wasn't he?
Louis,
He was still
31.
stretching, and he has missed it. So suddenly, out of nowhere, a chance comes for Trump. Just never seemed comfortable on that shot.
Oh, a huge, huge kick. Goodness me, that must have come like a bolt from the blue for Judd Trump. It must have been so shocking, because when do you ever see kicks in the game these days unless somebody is using the old variety of chalk? Well, it certainly shocked me, but I think it shocked Judd even more. And he may not be able to continue this break now.
Just what you need, isn't it? When you're being outplayed, you suddenly get a chance, and then that happens.
The thing is, Dave, you know, that we all harp on about this new variety of chalk, which undoubtedly is a great success, and it's almost completely eradicated kicks within our sport. But there are different variations of the same brand of chalk. So I just wonder if two players using slightly different variants of the same chalk, whether that can contribute to a kick. Who knows? I mean, Judd being left-handed, can he reach this black to cut it in? Is he hampered by the red next to the cue ball? The problem being, though, the cue ball will cannon into the red below the black, so Judd won't know where the cue ball's going to finish. Well, he did really well there to put aside the disappointment of having to play this black. He does have a red to the centre, but it's very tricky.
Nine.
Oh, superb. Particularly given the context of the match position and what's happened with the kick. I mean, as Gary said in the studio, Gary Wilson, you know, he's just such a talent, isn't he? Such a great potter. So he's managed to just steady the ship here, but still a lot of work to do to win his first frame and make Ding think about his own mistake.
16. $17.
Well, I guess that's a good omen. Never lost a quarter-final in the UK Championship.
$20.
It's his 105th ranking event, quarter-final, incredibly.
$25. $30. $31.
This really is a commendable effort from Judd. There wouldn't have been too many players that would have risked the black after that horrendous kick that he suffered. And being 2-0 behind, the way Ding was queuing,
38.
I mean, this really was a must-win frame. He's only 7 points to the good. There's still lots of work to do, but got to fancy Judd from here.
39. 45.
Trump's one of 10 players to have won the UK Championship on more than one occasion. He's looking to join Ding, John Higgins and Neil Robertson on 3.
$46. $52.
Judd won't need
53.
both of those remaining reds. He'll focus, I'm sure, on the one closest to the cue ball. 22 points the lead, the black 29, so red and high value colour after this. And he should have got his first frame on the board. But of course, Judd being left-handed, needs to play this red with the rest. This is the red that led to this opportunity from Judd. Just Ding jabbing at that because he was at full stretch, and it could prove very costly.
61.
Well, it's what Trump needed, isn't it? He needed an unexpected error to creep in, and it did. It looked like he'd been kiboshed by the kick, but he managed to keep it going. The black, he'll be 37 in front with 35 on.
$68.
Well, the centre is still on potentially, but Judd won't want to miss this. Just one snooker required, and this is an awkward little pot.
It just drops. Now, as you say, if he took the brown, he could make 100 exactly. So that'll be his thinking. What a great match it's been already.
73.
Only had 3 frames. They've flown by. Well, he was a little hampered there, wasn't he, by the blue. The break, therefore, he misses the yellow, ends at 73. Most importantly for Trump, he made the most of that chance. He's on the scoreboard.
Thank you. Frame 4. Judd Trump to break.
Well, it's been great stuff between these two. They've only been playing 37.5 minutes. It's already the pre-interval frame, this. Ding dominated the first 2, who's in the next. On 31, Mr. Red just stretching slightly. And Judd Trump stepped in, made 73 to get on the scoreboard.
I just wonder whether Judd could have taken this red onto the right corner to stun across the pink to play for the black, but decides to play a safety instead. Nearly a disastrous ricochet from the jaw of the middle pocket, but it's found bulk. But I wonder if Ding may be tempted by this red now to the right corner. As I say, he can stun across the pink to play for the black. But no, again, keeping it tight. There are two reds I can see that may be a plant to this left corner. They weren't there until Judd just played his last safety. Ding had a look at them. Judd having a look at them as well now. As a player, you need to have a look at everything. Even your safety shots off the pack of reds, you just have to be sure that nothing's going to find its way near a pocket. Played it nicely. Ding can only see one red, and he'll have to be very careful not to double kiss it if he attempts to play a safety from it back to bulk. Yeah, he couldn't really do much with that red on the side cushion. There wasn't really a safety shot from it back to bulk unless he were to have caught it absolutely so thinly. But he didn't play the two cushion escape particularly well. So a chance here for Judd.
One.
Not an easy break for Judd to make this with the black outer commission. Just blue and pink to work with.
Eight. Two.
Again, maybe not delighted with the contact there, just having the cue ball clean by referee Olivier Martial.
Yeah, I wonder if Ding does use a different variety of chalk. I know he's experimented over the years with different chalks. In fact, at home I have one of his prototype blocks of chalk, which is different from the norm. Maybe it's causing problems with ball contacts.
Well, I think I'm right in saying that the brand Ding uses is pink, so it is different.
14. $18.
Still on a red, as you can see. But you have to stretch a little, being left-handed, to play it.
$19.
And short of pace for the blue, so positionally a bit of work to do here now for Judd. May well take the cue ball in and out of bulk. Doesn't have to. Could leave the red from distance if he wanted.
24. $25.
So much about this game is being mentally focused, and you know, Ding started like an express train, didn't he? But the ability to watch that
32.
and still be ready when the chance comes, and he didn't know when it would come or if it would come, but to be ready when it did is the mark of Judd Trump. It's one of the reasons he's won so many tournaments. Hasn't won this frame yet, but he's going along nicely enough as we look at his record in the tournament. 2 victories, of course, and a couple of appearances in finals as well.
Judd felt he needed to go into those reds, and clearly it hasn't worked out for him. Perhaps wanted to cannon the right-hand red of those two together to push the left-hand one towards the corner pocket, but just got too much action out of the cue ball, so it'll just be a safety now. It's a useful lead, though, given the position of some of the reds.
Thank you. Judd Trump, 38.
Ding could attempt to bring the black into play here if he wished. Well, the red that Judd has played there to the left of the pink is definitely potable for Ding. There's a nice gap through the pink and reds for the cue ball to return towards the bulk colours. It must be worth taking on. That's an excellent cue ball from Ding. This could cause a problem for Judd potentially. If he plays off one of the two reds furthest left that are along this top cushion, he needs to make sure to catch them thinly enough to avoid cannoning that red that's on the left-hand side cushion there. A shot that some players play these days, they actually purposely strike the top cushion first with side spin and just flick a red. I wonder if Judd will try that here. It may be that he is. Cushion first, side spin. Problem was he set the cue ball out in the wrong direction.
Ding Junhui for the green, please, Leo.
Yes, it's not a free ball, so Ding having the white replaced. There's Leo Scullion
Here,
helping out on the
towards
marker's
you.
desk.
No, sorry, towards me. Two balls width towards me. Balls width in. And half a ball back to you. Touch more. Touch more. Yeah. The cue ball is back towards the cushion. Back. Half a ball. No. Back forward. Quarter. No. Towards me. About a quarter of a ball. Yeah. No, too much. Back.
Well, we'll miss this when it's all done by AI.
Yeah, to you. Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Thank you.
So, just a slight adjustment required. Of course, if you missed again, then the three strikes comes in. Well, it's all right, I guess. Not quite what he intended, though.
No, he overswerved it on that occasion, swerved directly into the red. As you can see, there is a possible one on for Ding, but it would be difficult to play the cue ball out for a colour. I was just wondering whether the two reds just below the pink to the left could be a plant. Well, there you go. They are. And now that's a different kettle of fish. I'll be taking that on because you could play position from that.
Yeah, that makes it more of a mistake from Trump, for sure. Didn't fancy it, though, so no good safety from Ding.
I'm quite surprised that Ding didn't attempt that plant. It was clearly on, and there was no danger in playing it. Be interested to hear the thoughts of Gary Wilson in the studio, because Gary is a very attacking player. I wonder if he'd have taken that on. Well, had the cue ball not cannon the blue, he would have been close to the bulk cushion, so it wasn't a poorly struck safety, it was just misjudged for the line. One good pot here for Ding, and he could be back in business. Oh, the worst possible cannon to the red. Well, I don't think he'll take anything on now.
Green ball. Xintong V1.
Very different frame then from the first three that all contain big breaks, but still a hugely important one. Trump will be delighted, of course, with 2-2 because he could easily have been 3-0 down. Ding was going so well in that third frame before he missed the red stretching.
Well, there's not a lot that Ding can see here. The red centre picture may be potable. I only say that because Ding could be forced to go for it if he can't really see much of anything else.
Well, yeah, it's been quick fire because it's been breaks, but this frame nearly 20 minutes long. Tap on the table from Judd, suggesting that he can't see the red that's close to bulk past the blue. Must be snookered on that. If that is the case, he has a bit of a problem here. Not an easy safety shot to play. Didn't risk playing the cue ball back into bulk. Yeah. See the 6 reds gathered in the middle of the top cushion. Very different frame to the first 3. Well, he has another bit of a problem here, Judd. That containing shot that he played just moments ago. Well, he's in further trouble now. But he'll be pleased with that contact. Could easily have knocked that red on for a pot, but it's worked out okay.
Not surprised Judd has played a shot such as that, but he didn't want to risk playing a safety off those reds back to bolt, because the extra pace required could easily result in flicking a red towards a pocket somewhere.
Well, this is the variety of snooker. We've gone from a free-flowing, fluent contest to every ball is kind of life or death, safety now paramount. 7 minutes since the ball went in, but they're not exactly well positioned, are they?
Ding would probably love to try and pop that red up the cushion rail, land on the pink with an angle to go into the reds, but it's too risky. Wow, he tried to cut that red in. That was extremely difficult. But again, he was playing for the pink with an angle to go into those reds to shift a few around. Has he got away with this? Pretty much has. Ding could play the red closer to the cushion here to bring that into play. That would be a help. But hampered cueing has meant that he didn't direct the cue ball particularly well. Judd will have to steer clear of all these reds on the top cushion. It's too risky. He could easily knock one towards a corner pocket. Of course, Ding, being 33 points behind, wants to see them in play.
Well, all sorts of moving parts there, but it's okay for Trump.
Oh, it's been a long time since Judd had the tactical advantage in this exchange, but he can create that now because that's a slight mistake from Ding. He hasn't hidden the red near bulk, and Judd can play a good safety from here. Well, Instead of the good safety, decided to double the red. He knew the cue ball would be safe. Still a bit of a risk. But it bobbled. But went in.
Four. Five.
If Judd wants to play the cue ball into the reds, he's going to have to play this pink with a lot of pace.
Yeah, so this quite tactical frame continues. Trump with a useful lead, 44.
Trump 11.
Half-hour frame. Just seems a big target here, doesn't it? Olivia Martial just having a look exactly where the cue ball is, what Ding can see or not see.
Judd's always looking for a pot somewhere, isn't he? Anything. But if he could have knocked that in, he would have had the option to put a colour safe or play a good safety shot. It would have been quite advantageous. Oh, it's very straight, this red. Beautifully cued. Judd will have enjoyed that one. Judd may consider putting a colour safe as well as trying to snooker Ding. He could, in theory, play the pink into bulk.
Bramble. Trump 1.
Well, that's not great for Ding, is it? He's got black and yellow close together on that ball cushion. He's 45 behind.
Yes, he's a big second favourite now, Ding, to win this frame, because he'd probably need multiple chances to get the job done.
Well, the two reds in open play are all Trump would need. 35 minutes, the frame.
Little thick from Ding. Now will Judd take on this long red? Stroked it in very nicely, controlled the cue ball well. He's on the pink. And if he drops in right behind that red that's near the left centre, I'm sure he can just drop it in, and that would be frame ball.
Well, a very different style of frame to the first three, but Judd Trump with a check of the scores right behind this red. Will be delighted if it goes in. It looked like he was going 3-0 down. Ding started superbly. He made breaks of 89 and 83. He was on 31 in the third. He was stretching on a red, missed it. Trump made 73. Highly tactical frame, this fourth, with the reds gathering around that spot on the top cushion. But Trump, he's potting well, isn't he? He's looking good, actually, looking sharp. Always looked like a match to saver, and as we approach the interval, set up perfectly.
Judd Trump, 14.
Shouldn't be any problem to escape from this snooker. Ding will be looking for an opportunity, I'm sure, to play a safety shot that brings the black into play. I don't think Judd intended to cannon that red, but cannoning a red is all he needed to do. Ding needs two snookers to tie at the moment. That's why I'd like to see the black in play. Otherwise, he'll need three snookers.
Yeah, another good pot. One of many from Trump this afternoon. And that removes any doubt about who's going to win this frame. Nearly 40 minutes of toil. But Trump has dug in well, because, as I say, he was spending the early part of the match just watching. So honours even, a fascinating quarter-final matchup here in York this afternoon between two multiple winners of the UK Champion. Irresistible early on. A few people just taking their seats, don't want to miss a ball of this. Potential 7 frames remain.
I think Judd would have had some concerns the way Ding began this match, but I just wonder how much of a turning point missing that red to the left corner will prove to be. I think the interval came as a good time for Ding. But it could be a very exciting match now as it draws to its conclusion.
Terrific pot from Ding, and the cue ball has made its way in and out of bulk.
It could be he decides on the blue here. The black's too thin, the green's awkward queuing because of the black. But if he wants to go into the pack of reds, it's a certainty from the blue. Choosing to play for a loose one, though. Oh, he just caught the jaw of the middle pocket. Not where the cue ball's finished now. He may be able to...
5, 6.
Well, he can certainly play the red closer to the left corner, but positionally it's not ideal and it's a missable pot. But now the blue's been respotted, he can still see enough of the red to the right of the pink if he prefers it. Good queuing required here. Can play for the pink into the opposite centre. Stretching again. That's twice he's missed pots at potentially crucial times when stretching.
Yeah, when Ding's been close in, he's missed nothing. But as you say, the odd ball from further away he has done. Well, he wasn't sure. He stayed down, but it didn't drop.
Oh, strange, really. Judd's reaction suggests that he didn't necessarily think that he'd missed the pot there. It'll take a little bit of working out this. I'm sure Ding will play for the red to the right of the pink next. It's the easiest one to get onto. But he knows he'd like that black back on its spot. But if he plays for the black,
6.
how easy will it be from the black to play for a red afterwards? That's the problem. That's what he'd be thinking about.
Seven.
Be useful for Ding if the red below the pink will pot into the left corner. That one that you can see there.
Well, I mean, he couldn't have played it more positively, could he?
Well.
But it's not a great outcome, it would seem.
That's the only problem when you go into the pack from two cushions. You're tending to push reds towards the middle pockets rather than the corner pockets, and there's less chance, really, of being on something. But at least a touching ball has been declared by referee Olivier Motil. So Ding has the option to play away into Bolt, but he'll have to be careful not to leave a potable red on for Judd. Well, he looked at playing the safety shot. In the end, decided to cut that red in. It was a shot to nothing.
13.
But there wasn't much of a gap to find there for the cue ball. Now, is he straight enough on the yellow? Probably is.
Fifteen. Sixteen.
Position the cue ball perfectly there. He's done really well to keep this break going. That was a very thin cutback with the rest that he knocked in. Wasn't going to go for it initially.
$24. Ding Junhui, 24.
Well, all the good balls he potted and then just seemed to take his eye off this.
Ding, in an interview, mentioned that sometimes he does lose concentration.
One.
Not suggesting that was a loss of concentration, but perhaps his focus there was on the positional aspects of the shot. And he took the pot for granted and missed it. Well, it can certainly happen. Question is, how costly will that be?
4. Five.
Judd hasn't finished well on the blue, but will have to take the cue ball in and out of bulk here. The pace of this shot is of critical importance. And it's travelling too far, needs a bit of luck now. And didn't get any.
10. Judd from 10.
Pink is Ding's biggest problem here. He needs to avoid the cannon on it on the way back to bulk. Sometimes these little 2 1/16 balls look like boulders when you're trying to avoid them, when you're playing a key safety shot.
Well, just for now, it's become a different kind of match to the first 3 frames. It was all breaks flying in. I suspect we'll get back to that at some point, but, you know, it's a difficult game. Things are going to go wrong. You've got to battle. Judd Trump's certainly done that from 2-0 down. And, of course, the odd unexpected miss, like Ding's blue, keeps it interesting as well. Been good stuff, I think, overall.
Again, Ding will have to concern himself with avoiding the cannon on the pink, which shouldn't be a problem. It would only be a problem if he were to catch this red too thinly. He's overcorrected and caught it on the thick side, and this red will cut into the centre pocket.
One.
Can really sense Trump has put everything into this tournament. Of course, his brother Jack is here as well. There's been a slight issue because, of course, Trump lives in Dubai. His brother struggled to get the requisite visas to be with him to keep up the practice regime they've been used to. But here at the tournament, they are together, and, of course, it's his big chance to win a title this year. 2013, the last calendar year, he didn't win one. In a way, it's a little unfair because actually we look at snooker in terms of seasons, don't we? We don't really look at it in terms of years, but suddenly we are. And the fact remains he hasn't won a trophy in 2025. This is his last event.
Nine.
These two open red shouldn't be a problem for Judd, but being left-handed, the other two near the side cushion could be an issue.
13.
Short of pace with the cue ball there, so he can't hold for the black now.
21. Twenty-four. Judd ramp 24.
Ding currently ranked 8 in the world. Has been a former world #1, but that was a decade or so ago now. Had that one incredible season when he won 5 major ranking events in one season. Just short of pace there, Judd. Chance for Ding to knock in a straightish long red. Well, it was a good pot, but could have done with that cue ball travelling a little further over. Not sure he can cut the black in and just flick the red below it. If he can play it plain ball, he may catch enough of the red to knock it on for a pot.
Things away. 1.
cube in behind the pink there, but just caught the red too thickly. An interesting point of this frame now, with just the 3 points separating the players, and with that black near the corner pocket. I wonder if Judd might try a double here. He has, and it's close, very close. But he's left it for Ding, who may well take this on. Well, has Ding been lucky? Well, no, not really. The red over the pocket will go. But with awkward queuing over the black and playing it across the table, it's not straightforward. This is tough for Judd, because if he pots the black, the red then won't pot into the left corner. He's got to play for it into the same pocket as the black, and this won't be easy to play from a positional point of view.
Eight.
So trying to get the first good safety and 11 points in front.
Trump 8.
Ding would like to play across the face of this red to get the cube in behind the green and the blue, but he'd like to be able to play it with the trace of running side, but that's not going to be easy from with the cue ball being so close to the cushion. But key thing here is to keep the red safe.
Well, that's more like it from Trump.
I'm sure Ding was aware if he didn't get the snooker in behind the black, this could be the problem. Oh, he's a long way away, so far so. He'd be lucky not to leave a free ball here.
Trump 4, free ball.
Free ball has been declared, so Judd can play any colour now as an extra red. It will count 1 point, and then he can play a colour afterwards. As you can see, he has a choice here of green, brown or blue. Oh, that sounded like a kick to me, but the blue went in. But would have liked the cue ball to have been a little straighter on the blue. Well, that's absolutely perfect. He just has to drop the red in for the black, and then the frame would be safe, barring snookers.
7.
Yeah, he's had to sort of roll his sleeves up, hasn't he, in this frame. In the end, he played a good snooker, got the free ball. And this black, as you say, should be to take the lead for the first time. So Chum having to show his mettle in this match, and he is doing.
14.
The way Ding started, he was in danger of just running away with things, but I guess that missed red in frame 3 when he was stretching was the start of his problems, really. Started the turnaround.
19.
Gave Judd Trump a foothold. And he's won a couple of quite lengthy frames. The last one was 39 minutes. This is going to be 27. But he's won them.
23.
Of course, Ding missed that easy blue in this frame when he looked set to score heavily and take a 3-2 lead himself.
Yeah, that was a big mistake, wasn't it? Because it just came out of nowhere. Particularly after the interval when you're looking to reset. He'd been on the practice table. But now he finds himself trailing. Pink taking a bit of punishment, but Judd Trump, more importantly for him, is in front for the first time in this quarter-final. The defending champion leads Ding Junhui here in York, 3-2.
As quietly as you can, please.
Judd Trump then, for the first time, is leading this quarter-final, 3-2 against Ding. Couple of tactical frames, and then it went that way because the balls went that way, but they were tactical quite long. They've not suited Ding, but as Dominic said, had he not missed that blue early in the last frame, you know, he maybe would have won it in one visit.
Well, the key question is, for me, is how much confidence will Ding have lost as a result of those two easy misses that have cost him frames and have turned this match around in the favour of Judd Trump? How much of a knock has he taken psychologically because of those mistakes? Oh, he's played a wonderful safety shot there with no applause, which was a surprise because Judd doesn't have a straightforward escape here, I can promise you. Having to play in the back of the pack of reds. The line is key here. Played it well.
Well, one point to make is that this is the first time Ding's been behind in the tournament this year. He led 3-1 against Yusa, beat him 6-4. 3-0 against Scott Donaldson, beat him 6-5.
See how Ding's pot success has changed as a consequence of a few mistakes, because it was pretty much 99 or 100% after 2 frames. It's now down at just 87%. The red below the pink I don't think will pot, and I don't think Judd can make a plant of the two reds just above the black, so that ricochet from the jaw of the middle pocket shouldn't be costly. Well, he didn't play an easy safety shot there, Ding. He could have played a more straightforward one. But that red has poked its nose out, and I don't expect Judd to miss this. There's this cue ball going, though. It's okay.
Six.
Good effort from Judd. I just wonder if the red above the black, that it might just pot into the corner pocket through a gap of the others. It did go, and Judd will be disappointed not to have potted that.
From 6.
Yeah, it sort of feels like he's on top, but it's in increments, isn't it? He's not sort of getting in and killing these frames off clinically. Well, I tell you what, when they first played 20 years ago, when Judd was 16, as I say, he was only his second match as a pro, he didn't have shots like that in his armoury. He would have tried to pot something. He might have got it, but percentages have come into play to great effect over the years. I mean, Ding was only 18 at the time, because he'd already won the China Open.
Judd would like to play a safety here that blocked off the left-hand side of the table. He can only do that if he flicks away that red that's just below the pink. Oh, it was a superb pot from Judd. I really wasn't sure he could avoid cannoning other reds there. So that's why I didn't think he'd take it on. There was a small gap to stun through. But I didn't think he could get back to bolt, but he didn't seem to care. Judd were to pot the pink, it would go on the black spot and immediately start to complicate things. But he may not have a choice. Trying to hold the ball up.
Makes all the difference, that, what he did there with his hand. That forced the cue ball to slow up.
Eight.
So fast, these tables. Of course, the cloth's only been on a couple of days. Ah, these reds, they're all blocking one another, really. He's just having a look to see if anything will pop past that black. Ding yet to make a 30 break this side of the interval.
13.
Judd himself has only made a break of 38 since making that 73 in frame 3.
14. 21.
Really could have done with being straighter on this red.
$22.
Those cannons can easily go wrong, but on that occasion, it's worked out okay.
$27. $28. $31. $32.
Left again an awkward angle on this black. He can play for the red next to it, but he'd have rather a lot of angle on it. Other than that, I can't see any other red that he's likely to play for without risk. Decided to take a risk. How's it worked out? Hasn't really, unless he can just see enough of that red
13.
to pot it to the right corner. Can he see enough of it? Must be very tight.
Just, and it means he's able to continue and press on here into a good lead in this frame with red still available.
$45.
Just seems to have an uncanny knack of keeping breaks going. We saw that, of course, with that amazing clearance he made against Zhao in the last round that Alan
46.
highlighted at the top of the show.
Yeah, I used to think that of Luca Brusel as well. He just seemed to find pots and all sorts of angles to keep a break going that looked like ending a few shots earlier. And Judd's very similar.
53. $54.
Well, you've got to keep it going for a couple more shots now, and he'll be 2 frames clear. And Ding has been frozen out of this one.
$61. $62.
Yeah, very clinically done again from Trump. Last couple of frames have been quite tactical. This one, he's got in, he's scored, and he's given Ding a lot to think about now.
$67.
We've had 11 different winners of 11 different tournaments this season. That's remarkable, but maybe what's more remarkable is that Judd Trump isn't one of them, given the success he's had these last 7 or 8 years. But there's still time, of course, to remedy that.
$75. $76.
Judd Trump has made 1,120 centuries in his career. Of course, he created a record last season, making 107 in a single season, beating the record of Neil Robertson. He'll need to pull out another couple of good pots here to increase his career century tally.
Wow. I think that qualifies as a good pot.
$91.
Oh, what a shame, but still. Well, a big frame for Ding, because from a position of strength at 2-0, he finds himself 4-2 down to a very determined looking Judd Trump.
Yes, it's difficult to know how Ding can get back into this match. He's got to cut out these elementary errors, these simple missed pots that have cost him so dearly. Tactically, there's just very little to choose between Judd and Ding. In fact, both players are great tactically. There's very little to choose between them. So it's difficult to suggest that Ding needs to attack more because he's an attacking player anyway, and that's his problem today. He's missed a couple of key pots that have proved very costly. He's just going to have to play better. That's another mistake. He didn't keep the red safe. It finished near the corner pocket. And again, this is one of those long pots that Judd would be disappointed to miss.
One. Judge from 1.
And that's another poor safety shot from Ding. You know, Judd, if he doesn't pot this red, will be very close to it. Slightly awkward queuing, though. The brown seems to be a problem.
Well, it's nearly half an hour since Ding potted a ball. Trump did get close to this, but not quite close enough. It's worth saying, though, these best of 11s, they're long matches. You know, you can have a sort of off patch within the match and still come through. But this is clearly an important frame to try and get going again.
One.
That's finished very awkwardly for Ding. Unless those two reds near the cue ball are a plant for this left corner, it's going to be very tricky to get on his next red. Is the one that will go into the left centre? No, just the safety shot. Well, Ding was right in there because of the mistake from Judd. 8 points, I'm afraid. Won't cut it at this level.
These are weak 8.
Well, they're the safety stats for the tournament, although it's worth saying 3 of the 5 there are out of it. Zhao Yilong, Scott Donaldson and Elliot Slesser.
It's another great safety, blocking off the right-hand side of the table, but the red that's nearest the black, I think Ding can see enough off to play a safety from. As long as it doesn't cannon into the red furthest left in our picture. Well, there's no way Ding attempted that, but the cue ball's in anyway. So Fluke's red could have left Ding in great position, but unfortunately the cue ball catching the jaw of the middle pocket deflects it into the green pocket, so that's unlucky.
That one wasn't close. I just feel Ding needs to pot this and then just try and stay in, just pot a few, get a bit of rhythm going again. There's been some quite dragged out frames that he hasn't won. But also really focus, because he has missed a couple in this match that he maybe just took his eye off or took for granted or was thinking about other things. Can't afford any of that now. He's 4-2 down. But there might be a way back in this visit.
Seven. 8.
Well, this might not be ideal for Ding. He may have to play this with a lot of side spin. Controlled that nicely. Played that with a lot of right-hand side to come across the table to play a choice of these reds.
60.
If Ding can pot this red to the right corner, there'll be a red at the top of that little
20.
group of reds that will then pot into the left corner. That's a red that Ding could play for. He could go into the reds here as well, but it wouldn't be easy to get a good result. Yeah, don't blame him for playing for this loose red, because there's no obvious target red to aim for
30.
going into them at the moment, but there will be once this red's removed. Decided to play for the black, but he's a little straight on it. May have to play for red now into the right centre unless he plays this with a lot of pace. Lost control of the cue ball there. Needed to be straight on this red. It's a little awkward now.
Well, that's got them all open. Of course, he's already 50 in front. But he'd always look wide, didn't he? I wondered, would it just drop? And of course, now he's opened the reds for Trump. Well, that could be a massive moment in this match.
I really ought to have potted that. There's pressure on it, of course there is, but I think the real problem was the shot before, and he didn't get straight on the red and had to pot it and go through them for position on the black. Had he been better on the other red previously, I'm sure he'd have been perfectly on the black instead of a little high on it as he was there. And this frame following now the pattern of a couple of the others where Ding has got in and missed something easy.
Well, this is the biggest moment of the afternoon. If Trump can take these out, then you just feel it's going to be very, very hard for Ding to turn it around, to get over the disappointment, first and foremost, of not winning the frame. It's not always about the size of the break in the match, is it? It's about the context.
Seven. Thanks.
Judd will probably need to play for the pink here. Although saying that, this is awkward because the red that he's about to play is on the pink spot. If he pots the black, that will go on the pink spot. But if he pots the pink, it'll go back on its own spot, the pink spot, and help to block those two reds. So it needs to be fairly precise now, positionally. There's only really one red of those two he could play for, and that would be the lower one, the one directly to the right of the pink spot.
Fourteen. $15.
Oh, controlled that really well. That's so difficult to play well, that type of positional shot, when the object ball is in the jaws of a pocket. But this is only the beginning of the problems. The red nets the blue. Not a certainty to get onto, but he's left a nice angle on the pink. The blue itself will be a problem because Judd is still 27 points behind and will certainly need it. Judd intended to leave himself low on the red, so in potting it could cannon the blue into play.
29.
But he didn't want to be quite this low on it. The red itself is a thin cut now. Danger away, can breathe again.
Green ball. Shot from 30.
Nicely played by Judd. Not a difficult snooker to escape from. It was never likely to be, but the problem is he's got to get the yellow safe. And that won't be easy. But he mustn't overcomplicate this escape, Ding, because if he didn't cannon into the yellow, could easily leave a free ball.
Hear the murmuring of the crowd. They know what a massive passage of play this is in this quarter-final. Well, it looks like a chance missed that to get the snooker and really put Ding in trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. Dave. Judd would be very disappointed not to have got the snooker there. It could have been a frame winner. Ding cleverly trying to cannon the brown to the bulk cushion. He doesn't need it, but Judd does. Now, if Ding can play this with a lot of topspin and right-hand side, if he can cannon the yellow almost full ball, Cuba won't really go anywhere. What's he playing, though? Has he got something else up his sleeve? Oh, that's exactly what Ding didn't want to see. It's safe, though. That's the main thing.
Foul. And a miss. Judge round 4.
Oh, missing the yellow does make a bit of a difference because now Ding would need that awkward brown.
You want to check? Can we check, please, Leo?
Checking with the technology. Thumbs up
Judd, thank
from
you.
Leo Scullion.
I think it had to be checked because Ding will have to flirt a little bit with the black to get the angle necessary. Narrow again.
Foul. And a miss. Judge round 4. Again, please, Leo.
Stop. Yeah, yeah. That was good.
I don't think Ding can do a lot with this. It would be risky to play too clever a safety here. Can he skim off the yellow, try and get the cube in behind the black?
There you are, 8 minutes on this yellow ball. Of course, Trump was looking good to potentially make a clearance.
Well, for me, I wonder if Judd can play the yellow into the brown here and get the cube in behind the black. Well, that's one thing that surprised me with Judd, because he's such an attacking player, not just in terms of potting and break building, but tactically as well. But that was rather a negative safety, and I wonder if he could regret that. Ding could easily stun the cube in behind the brown here, but I wonder if he's concerned that he might accidentally double the yellow. If you ever play one of the game's top players, I mean, you've got basically two top players in action against one another here. You've got to be looking to do a little bit more with your safety shots than we've seen, not just from Ding there, but from Judd previously. Is he looking at this yellow in terms of potting it? He is. Oh, what a pot that was from Judd Trump, particularly as both players been engaged in this tactical battle. To pull out a pot like that was superb. Seven points behind, just needs brown, blue and pink.
There was a massive burst of applause from the other table, but it didn't put him off. But it's a great yellow. It was actually a really good green as well, and brown. Two more pots to take a 5-2 lead to win another crunch frame.
14.
Yeah, Ding
Quiet down, please.
didn't play a good safety, but it was still a great yellow from Trump. He's really shown his mettle here this afternoon. Some of these frames have been quite lengthy, but he's winning them. He's won 5 frames in a row. Just checking the scores, and it will tell him that he's 5-2 up and just 1 away from the semi-finals of the UK Championship. Judd Trump then from 2-0 down has opened a 5-2 lead here over Ding Junhui. Is there any way back?
Judd could take this red on into the left corner. He's an attacking player. He may see this as an opportunity to create the one chance necessary to go on and win frame and match. But with a 5-2 lead, doesn't have to take risks. And how clever is he played that? He had a natural angle just to come off the top cushion, cannon the red to hold himself on the black. Fabulously played. Do wonder though, if Ding had have won that last frame for 4-3, that red that Judd just knocked in might have seemed a little more difficult.
9.
Well, he's not won yet, but it's a good opportunity to build up a nice lead in this frame. I think over the course of the 3 matches he's played, his temperament has been so good. A lot of people said, well, in fact, Steve Maguire himself said he thought he was the better player in their first match, but there's no doubt Trump's temperament was by far better. Kept him so cool, and on the key shots, he was very dependable. And the same in this match, you know, he's potted the crunch balls.
20.
And he's certainly not made things easy for Ding. Yes, Ding has made some unforced errors. That's contributed as well.
Judd has such a style of play that it's difficult to sort of
29.
see, actually, that Judd actually, when he plays matches and he's playing well, he doesn't make a lot of mistakes. And that's why it is difficult to play against and defeat. The other thing with Judd, of course, is things aren't going well in terms of potting and break building. He's very adaptable. He's far from being one-dimensional. And that's another key attribute to any champion's game. Not everybody is like that.
$36.
So I think we can deduce he's a good middle pocket player.
Yes, of course, every pot is different, isn't it? But that's another one. It's going in.
37.
Had to focus so much on the pot. And he's just the wrong side of the blue, but Judd has the cue power here to take the cue ball in and out of bulk. Running side on the cue ball, played for the red near the black spot. That was the easiest one to play for, and he's played it very, very well.
43.
Break already at 42. He's getting closer.
$43.
Just wonder if the left-hand red of all of those that remain will pot into the right corner. If it does, Judd has an easier positional shot to play. It must go. He's cannoned it, though. And you can see that Judd is so disappointed there not to run past that red.
50.
Is there something else that pots anywhere? I don't think so. He could play the red that's closest to the cue ball into the green pocket could actually stun into the black to cannon it towards the corner pocket.
The trump 50.
Well, they'd be disappointed that he wasn't in better position, but it's a good 50. It's a good lead. The pressure's on Ding here, but yeah, slightly resigned look there because he knows it was a definite chance to just get it done in that visit.
Judd trying to convince himself to take the red on. It's the right shot to play because he can stun the cue ball to this top cushion. The black's waiting for him. The only red he could possibly leave, it would seem, is the red that he's about to take on. Well, he certainly surprised me there, Judd. I expected him to take the red on. There must have been a reason why he didn't want to. Maybe there was a red that he could have left.
Foul and a miss. Ding Junhui full.
Well, I looked at those two reds and I certainly didn't think they were plants, but Ding knew better. Caught the first red very thinly just to deflect it into the pocket. And a real lifeline here now for Ding.
Well, it's amazing, isn't it? It looked so innocuous, the shot Trump played, just failing to get the thin edge, but, well, it might be his last shot in this frame.
Well, that's the thing, Dave. I mean, the shot that Judd played failed to contact a ball, to me suggested the plant must have been on for Judd, but did you not see it? He tried to get him behind the blue there, but that red just clipped into two others and made that plant. Anyway, that's history now.
4.
Last chance saloon for Ding. And this is a great opportunity. One thing Ding does not want to be is straight on this pink. And he is. So he can't get nicely on the next red.
$70. $18.
Oh, that's what happens. You lose position He may keep the break going with a decent pot. But you begin to lose control of the table, and it's gone wrong for Ding. Can he still pot the black? Oh, he could. Well, he was lucky there, very lucky.
$25. 26.
So, big chance. Trump, of course, was in. He just lost position, didn't he? Just clipped a red. Ended up taking it to far corner, but didn't pot it. And then we saw what happened after that, leaving the plant on.
32.
Wow, that is incredible. He looked like he'd done most of the hard work. Sent the red to the near draw, it stayed out, and he's handed Judd Trump the chance to get the match won.
One.
Well, I don't think that was a poor contact. He missed the red on the thick side, so he was a little low on the black anyway because of that. It's been happening to him all day. Suggests to me that he's not quite keeping his mind in the present. He's thinking about winning the frame, thinking ahead. How many balls of simplicity has he missed this afternoon? Must be 4 or 5 at least.
Well, clearly, this is now all about that last red. Trump's just looking at where he wants to be on it. Because if he's not nicely on it, the other one's over the pocket. He has played for this one anyway.
Eight.
If he doesn't get on the black nicely, he'll probably be on the pink okay.
9.
And that's perfection. But of course, Judd being left-handed may need to roll it down the cushion with the rest.
Well, of course, he'll just need the red, so he can give everything to the pot. I'm sure as he was watching
60.
Ding, he thought, OK, we're going into another frame, but that miss opened the door, and this red is going to slam it shut for Ding. And it's in.
70.
He's played well today, Trump. He's shown a lot of steel, I think. It's not all been big breaks. He's battled away. But Ding, as Dominic said, has just missed a few too many. For him, simple balls, and he can't wait to get out of there. So Judd Trump carries his UK Championship title defence into the semi-finals.